When Hurricane Mitch swept through Nicaragua in late October 1998, it left more than 2,000 people dead and over 500,000 homeless. It incurred more than $1 billion in damages. One of the communities first blasted and then washed from their homes were relocated into what should have been temporary shelters, next to both a rubbish dump and a sewage works. The people come from the town of Chinandega, 139 kilometers from the capital of Managua. They were forced to move to the outskirts, to a patch of land they called Limonal. Now, over 20 years later, despite official promises, 4,000 people live in the center in what has become known as the Triangle of Death. The settlement is on a wasteland, 50 meters from the city's rubbish dump, 150 meters from the cemetery, 150 meters from the city's sewage depot, and some 200 meters from the Acome River, where an oil factory pours its wastewater. The wasteland is a wide area, made up of 13 blocks separated by 5 long streets. It is dry, without vegetation, and full of a fine sand that is whipped up by the slightest wind and hangs in the air. The huts, where the families live, are made up of zinc and plastic, a recycled material with no doors and windows. The Acome River is polluted by sewage from other communities further upstream, and by toxic waste from the sewage treatment plant. Green water from a nearby oil factory pours into the river just 10 meters from where the residents of Limonal take their baths and clean their clothes. Bacterial analysis found salmonella in this water. Here there are 3 water wells in the settlement where residents are supposed to get their drinking water. However, bacterial analysis shows that this water is polluted by a Shigella at levels 2 million times higher than the international norms. In addition, there is a toxic gas and smoke coming from the municipality's rubbish dump. The ground surface is also polluted by garbage waste carried by the winds, by latrines which are not dug deep enough, and by medical waste from the nearby hospital. Here, the locals make a living from the items that they gather in the grounds among the smoldering fires. They recycle items to be sold, or use other items they can find to support their livelihood. The city of Chinandega, which encompasses Limonal, makes up 8% of the country's extreme poor and contains approximately 43,370 people living below the poverty line. I visited Limonal in March of 2020 as part of the new growing field of community-based tourism through my study abroad class. We were tasked with preparing a meal for a community of over 300 children. This meal was prepared at the community center, which consisted of nothing more than an area of a few acres fenced by barbed wire, containing 2 shipping containers which served as a makeshift health clinic, as well as a kitchen consisting of a large outdoor fire pit and sink which utilized water from the nearby Acome River. We prepared a chicken and vegetable stew in 3 large pots, which boiled over the fire. I did my best to entertain the local children by drawing their portraits and letting them play with my camera. They took no heed of our language barrier and were enamored with myself and my camera. They laughed and played as if they had grown up with the same happy childhood I did, but the stain of poverty was evident in their dirty clothes and failing health. When the food was ready, the community lined up, bringing with them whatever vessels they could find that would serve as a bowl. They ate hungrily and with their hands, fending off any stray dogs that wandered too close. Providing healthy meals for children here is of utmost importance. Many children here grow up malnourished, and as a result their capacity for learning is stunted, and so as adults it is difficult to find work outside of the community, and the cycle of poverty repeats itself. Feeding the community here is the first step in breaking this cycle. I am inspired today by the resiliency of the peoples of Limonal, their ability not only to survive, but to find love and joy even in the bleakest of circumstances. During my stay, I decided to try a trend I saw many photographers in New York City try. Eres hermosa, puedo tomar tu foto. You're beautiful, I told them. May I take your picture?